As you guys know, we are currently in a digital age, and crypto, the form of digital currency, is literally here and it's here to stay, and it's making monumental changes to our everyday lives before our eyes. And so, the one monumental change that I want to talk about today is going to be ISO 20022. This is going to be crazy, you guys. This is going down in history in the books. But before I get started with this video, nothing that I will be saying today is conspiracy. This is all working in a system to create one world order. Agenda 2030. Nothing in here is conspiracy. I just want to elaborate on that. Now, before we get started, welcome back to Getting Digital with Asia. So let's first start off with a textbook definition of ISO 20022, but now I'm going to refer to it as ISO 22 for the remainder of this video. And this is a bit of a long definition, but I squeezed two parts into one. A new global standard for financial messaging helps financial institutions securely and efficiently exchange information with each other. Created by the International Organization for Standardization, which is an independent, non-governmental international group that sets international standards for things like quality and security management. So essentially, it's a universal structure that links systems together, regardless of them being politically or strategically opposed to one another. And when I say systems, I essentially mean countries. So say that I wanted to send money to somebody in Russia, even though Russia has all these sanctions and things placed on them. With ISO 20022 or ISO 22 for short, I would be able to send that money without having to worry about anything that's going on. ISO plays a really big role in crypto, specifically in the fundamentals and the implementation of creating CBDCs. And CBDCs are central bank digital coins, or currencies for short. Now, these are given to you by your bank. So you know how your bank gives you money? You have money in your account, it gives you money. Now, imagine this being in a digital form. Now, there are a lot of major countries already rolling out their CBDCs, like China, for example. But CBDCs right now are outlawed in the United States. And this is because the bank has so much influence on that digital currency, and they want it to be decentralized, but CBDCs make it completely centralized, because they're the ones giving you your money, your coins. They're the ones controlling the coins, the factors of the coins. So in crypto, the power is supposed to lie in the hands of the person who owns the crypto. But with CBDCs, the power lies in the hand of the bank still. So you're trying to get rid of the intermediary, by forming crypto like XRP and things like that to get rid of the banks, but then you're bringing CBDCs, which totally contradicts the whole purpose behind XRP or XLM and things like that. So right now, CBDCs are not a part of America, but it is inevitable for them to be here. It's inevitable with all this crypto and all this regulation that needs to go into crypto, and all these crypto scams and how crypto be crashing and stuff. CBDCs are going to come and save the day, but really they're taking your rights away. That rhyme. Look at me with the verses. So, you guys, there was so much research that went into this video. I'm not going to even lie. So much research, because I had to figure out exactly what ISO 22 was, because they'll give you a little bit of a top layer of what ISO 22 is, but you have to dig deeper to actually understand what it is and how it's going to affect our everyday lives. So now, ISO 22, they say that it was built for the framework and the implementation of CBDCs. So CBDCs have the potential to be the most powerful tool used for surveillance and control ever made in history. And let me tell you why. It can enable real-life tracking, programmable restrictions, and centralized control over every financial transaction in this world. So we have to remember that ISO 22 is a structure. It's a system that links all of these other systems in these countries and this information together. Each country, each national system is what they're going to call it, but country decides what they want to do with this system. ISO 22 allows you to build digital currencies on this system, okay? Now, the rules and implementation of these digital currencies is strictly all the way up to the country's disposal. So if they want to use it for good, they can. If they want to use it for bad, they can. But there's no legislation that will make it wrong for them to do the things that they are doing or implementing with this digital currency. So after a lot of deep research and actually reading through the paperwork of ISO 22, here are some of the main things that are pretty scary that countries can choose to do while using this ISO 22 platform. Digital money built on ISO 22 could be programmed. Transactions follow rules set by time, location, identity, or purpose. Money can activate under conditions or expire after a duration. It allows governments and central banks to embed policy directly into the money itself. Stimulus restrictions and incentives can be enforced at the point of transaction. No legislation needed. The rules live in the code. So this is coded money, essentially. So if you do anything that goes against the government, they can literally place a code on your coin and take it away from you. So y'all remember when I was talking about the Bitcoin software and how they use all these codes and things to make a Bitcoin, to mine a Bitcoin? Well, essentially, that's the same exact thing that's going to be for these CBDCs or for any digital currencies made on this ISO 22 network, okay? You can create money with code. So with ISO 22, every financial message on this system, which means information being passed between banks in different countries, they literally are rich in metadata. So that means your location, your identity, the intent behind the transaction. It even creates an audit trail. Okay, so there's full transparency and visibility for these banks that have all of your information that literally you have no control over. None at all. So ISO 22 does not state how to use this data. It's just making this data available on this platform, on this system, to these countries in these different systems to be able to use it at their disposal, however they want to. Very intimate, personalized data. I mean, it goes so down to like your criminal record, okay? Very personal data. And these countries can choose what they want to do. These institutions can choose what they want to do with this data. Good, bad, medium, whatever they want to do. There are no ethical guidelines or boundaries placed in this ISO 2 protocol. It is fully up to the countries and the institutions, whatever they want to do. So this same system can either be used to protect financial integrity, or it can also be used to monitor behavior, to create an unbelievable amount of surveillance on its users, which are going to be you and I. And ISO 22 is not centralized. The control is layered. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So one, central banks gate access, which essentially means they control who can have access to this type of stuff. Okay. So two, messaging networks enforces compliance, which essentially means whatever rules that they place into this coin, into this digital currency, and things like that, there are going to be a network that is going to be enforcing this compliance for this coin. Number three, national systems apply these standards and these protocols to fit whatever their strategic plans are, essentially. How it will work best in their favor for their circumstances. And when I say national systems, I mean countries or banks or institutions. So countries essentially build on top of this ISO 22 structure. Ooh, I have a really good example. Guys and girls, you'll be able to understand this. But when you get your nails done, okay, you have your base, which let's just say, which are your fingernails, right? Everybody has fingernails. Everybody needs fingernails, right? Now, you can build on top of that fingernails with gel or with acrylic or with just nail polish, whatever you want to do. But everything that you need to be able to build on top of those nails are right in front of you at the nail shop. As a nail tech, they're all in front of you, and you choose which is going to be the best look and the best fit for your client or for your preference. So it's the same exact thing for this ISO 22 system. It's giving you all the data, all the materials that you need. It's providing you with every single resource you can think of, and it's telling you to build on top of it. Create your own personalized package on how you want your country, how you want your institution to run. We got it for you. So let's get into the really juicy part. ISO 22 in BRICS. Okay, so a lot of the BRICS countries are implementing their own financial systems using ISO 22. Okay, so they're basically trying to completely get away from Western dominance, which is like SWIFT, or having to use US dollar clearing houses and things like that for transactions, and they're creating their own financial systems to where they can still interact globally within all of the markets without having to depend on anybody but themselves. So China has the mBridge project, then there's India's payment architecture, and then there's Russia's digital settlement systems. So none of these systems need the dollar to function. They use a shared functional structure to be able to create alternative routes to be able to trade globally and make payments and things like that globally without any westernized domination or control or any involvement at all. So they're creating their own financial systems that are completely getting rid of the US dollar. The US dollar is no longer needed in any of these transactions. So that further weakens the US dollar. Okay, which is why, in my opinion, I believe crypto was created in the first place to combat the weakening of the US dollar, to create a whole new system to where the dollar can grow more in dominance. So it won't be necessarily the dollar is king, but it'll be whatever the United States currency chooses to be and what their reserves are going to be. That is going to be what's king. And that's why there's this race on AI with all these countries, because the more AI tools you have, the more even better you can create these financial systems. But with this ISO 22, it's creating an equal playing field for these countries to create their own financial systems on however they want it to be. But this is the part y'all been waiting for. In order for all of this to be able to even happen, this ISO 22 standard to be able to be enforced, it needs crypto. All right, there are very few crypto coins that have the ability and the utility to be able to operate within this ISO 22 network and this standard. And so the top ones are going to be XRP, XLM, HBAR, XDC, IOTA, and Algo. Okay, y'all heard when I said XRP though, right? To the moon. So all of these coins essentially help to make this system run and to do everything that these countries are trying to do with these digital currencies. For example, XRP can send money within institutions and things like that within milliseconds with, the smallest fees and all things like that. And it's worldwide, it's global. That's just one part of it. XLM, same thing. But the thing about this, while these coins are ISO 22 compliant, that does not necessarily mean that they will all be used when implementing this ISO 22 financial structures by these companies. Not these companies, sorry, by these countries and these systems. But the fact that they are ISO 22 compliant is amazing, because I have time for a very, very fun fact. Y'all ready? Bitcoin is not ISO 22 compliant. It's not. Its protocol and things like that don't fit into the standard. So in order for Bitcoin to be interconnected and integrated within this ISO 22 platform or this structure, it will literally have to be an external force or external source that would be able to implement it. It can't just be implemented on its own. So that brings me back. So when I said Bitcoin is backed by nothing, and Bitcoin is a what? Okay, you guys, so that's all that I have for today. And I know that was a lot of information, but there's so much more information to be learned about ISO 22. So I really do recommend that you guys do your own personal research on it. Like I said, all these countries and institutions have to be ISO 22 compliant by November 22nd. And there were other due dates before November 22nd of when countries said that you have to be ISO 22 compliant for all of your financial systems. It's a major role in crypto, and it's also going to be a major role into our everyday lives. It's all unfolding quickly but surely. It's all trying to create a one world order and achieve a lot of the goals that are presented in Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030 is not a conspiracy. It's actually something that is very real. And this ISO 22 compliance by all of these countries kind of shows them implementing it in real time. So I really suggest that you guys do your research on that. But tomorrow we're going to be hopping right back into our Crypto 101 series, and we're going to be talking about hashing, okay? I know that sounds weird, but we're going to make you get the full understanding of it tomorrow, okay, you guys? And always remember that pretty girls can do crypto too. Toodles.